What's up, everybody? This is Caleb with GamerFaith.com, and
And Samuel.
I don't know if that whole thing showed up, if it popped over in time. Whoa! I'm getting a tax refund commercial on. I had our own Hangout open in a separate window, and it started a commercial once we went live for about tax refunds. So, anyways,
Perfect.
enough of that. So today we're super excited because Sam's coughing, and we always love when that happens.
Every day.
And we're answering your questions.
What?
Yeah, and we're gathered here today because you want to break it to them, Sam?
Because if we live together, we won't die alone.
And because we hit 1,000 subscribers.
What?
Yeah, we're really excited about that. And you guys have a wide variety of questions, which is fantastic. So feel free to talk in the chat on the side and let us keep in contact with us. We're going to be trying to move through some questions here. I guess we'll just jump right in.
All right.
So I'm going to start with Sarah Island. I believe that's how you say that name. That's an awesome last name if that's how you say it. How many cats do you have? Well, I have 2.5 cats. How many cats do you have, Sam?
Here comes one right now. Hi, Silver. I technically have no cats, but I've technically stolen 3 cats from my neighbor. Say hi, Silver. Silver.
So your neighbors kind of have these outside cats that they don't really pay any attention to. So
Yeah.
they're not really their cats, and you guys
So
have just sort of let them inside on occasion, right?
yeah, we feed them and they, come in here. Mainly the one black one that we've named Prim because you have a black cat named Katniss. So it's clearly her little sister.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have 2 cats. Olimar, which is named after a character in Pikmin, and Katniss, which is our black cat. Olimar is a tabby. And then my eldest brother lives with me, and he has a cat, Zelda. So that's where the 1/2 comes in. So yes, that's how many cats we have. We love kitty Mew Mews very much.
Yes. My 2 cats, I've got 2 black cats, Prim and Shadow, and then this is Silver.
Silver is so pretty.
She is, but she's very skittish. She's being really nice right now. This is the calmest she's ever been.
It's no use.
Get on top of the Hydra's back!
Okay, next, Mr. Jeremiah's Tube, which is a good friend of ours and is probably the earliest loyal subscriber and has been there for me a lot of times. So hello, if you're in there tuned in.
Hey,
What's up,
Ming.
man? We really appreciate you.
For sure.
He says, this is a good question. This is a good example of how there's a variety of questions. And I will say, since this is kind of a limited amount of time, some of these won't get a super in-depth answer. And you should always, like we always say, listen to what God says, not what we say. But he asks, how can we tell God is trying to tell us something? I find that when God is telling me something, it's sometimes the most maybe quietest seeming, but deepest penetrating and most meaningful voice. And I find that um, it speaks peace beyond what I can comprehend. And it's usually something like learning something beyond my own understanding when he's telling me something that helps bring peace and helps things click. There are
Mm.
other voices that bring anxiety, namely your your own voices in your head. And I assume that's what you're kind of getting at, is how do you tell the difference between those two?
Mhm.
And that's a difficult thing, but I personally find that um, when it's God's voice, it takes my heart to the next level and it brings me peace. Even if it's something I need to change, there's peace in that, um, and not anxiety, it seems. Uh,
Right. There's like a oh no, if you've done what you've been told, if you find like it's something that God's telling you, there's like a rejuvenating like factor to it and a sense of peace. I agree with you on that. Like that's what I've found too.
okay, good. So I guess in the short answer, maybe we'll make a longer video on that once I, pray and meditate on that
Mhm.
a little longer. And I haven't taken a lot of time to prep on these questions too, so a lot of it's just off the cuff. But that's what we have to say in short form. So thank you, Jeremiah. Good to hear from you. Next, we have several questions from another great Gamer Faith friend, a really, really nice guy and a huge contributor and helper to us. We love having you as part of the community. It's Steve Virgo. He has, I really like this guy. If you can't tell, he asks, first question, are you a good cook? I don't know if I can
Oh, I
answer
think I
that.
have to answer this one.
Yeah.
Caleb is a good cook in most senses. Sometimes he's scary. Like he makes you a mean meatloaf, but sometimes his experiments with the green shakes are nasty.
I like to try new things out in my cooking. I tend to be a
Mhm.
creative cooker instead of a by the book cooker. I
Mhm.
like to just throw stuff in, and usually it tends to work out in my advantage. But like Sam said, I like green shakes, and there's been some times that we've tried some new ingredients, and it has ended up tremendously awful. So,
This past summer, Caleb went on this kick of like, what can I throw in a blender and then freeze or refrigerate and make good stuff out of? And you had some successful ice cream slash sherbet ideas in there, and your salsa was really good too, even though it looked like cat diarrhea.
yeah, it looked bad.
It's gross, but it's tasty.
Yeah, I try to lean towards healthy when I'm cooking, sort of. If I can sneak healthy stuff in there, and that gets me in trouble sometimes with flavor, but generally
So
I'd say I'm decent.
if I were to give him a rating, if he were to quit all of his schooling and jobs now, he should go to culinary school. You used to be a cake decorator and a meat man.
I have been a cake decorator and a meat man, that's true. Little facts for you to know. Next question. Do you like secular music? That's a tricky question that can be, that's like, um, I don't find myself listening to all that much secular music unless it's on the radio in the car, and like typically that's when somebody else is driving and not me. Um, there are songs that I guess you would consider secular that I like. I do listen to mostly Christian music, but I find that some quote unquote secular music isn't necessarily like bad or drags you down. A lot of it definitely is, and I tend to stay away from that because music has a huge effect on my mood, um, personally. Uh, but if it's the right song, I don't like, judge anybody for listening to it. I don't listen to all that much music anyways. I tend to listen to a lot of like podcasts or type of stuff more than music, which I'm weird in that sense. But I also listen to a lot of Christian music. It's kind of a mix. Oh, I listen to a ton of like renditions of video game music in metal form while I'm
Yeah.
working out.
Yes, sir.
So what's your answer on that, Sam? You're the music guy.
I am. I play a lot of music. I'm actually a music major in college, and so listening to music is a lot of different things to me. It's like a form of relaxation or a form of entertainment, but also like a form of studying. So like I'll listen to jazz music or concert music to study what I need to about what I'm playing or the style. And I do listen to a lot of secular music because my music tastes have gone towards bands in the past, like the Allman Brothers and stuff like that. The music is really good and entertaining. I love to listen to it. Not that I always agree with certain messages that songs try and get across. They're not always the best. I would agree that they're not always good to listen to, but I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with listening to secular music. And a lot of it depends on what sort of like musical phase I'm going through too, because I'll go through phases where like I listen to only Christian music because that's what I want to listen to, or I'll go through phases where I listen strictly to jazz or something like that.
Yeah, and just to be clear, there is some secular music that we would say definitely you shouldn't be listening to.
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sam is more referring to like neutral music that isn't saying something offensive, like isn't gonna drag your heart down, but is technically not a Christian band.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. So just to be clear, all
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
get some
yeah.
emails here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for that. So I don't mean to
Yeah.
mess that up.
No, you're good. You're good, bro. Do you follow a specific Bible plan week by week? Yes-ish. I have a specific Bible plan. I have an app called YouVersion on my phone, and I
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
one year Bible plan that I try to follow. I find that I tend to get behind, and there's a catch me up feature on there.
Hmm.
Sometimes I feel like I need to mix it up though, and sometimes I'll throw in other devotional plans, or I'll feel like I need to read something else, or I'll be studying something else for a video on gamer faith or whatever. So it is flexible, but in general, um, as the main study plan I follow, I do follow the 1 year Bible plan on YouVersion currently, but there's room for bending there. What about you, Sam?
Same. We discovered this app as a group last summer, Caleb, Sheree, and I, and I love it. Although I tend to fall behind a lot, which that's something I personally have to work on is like reading my Bible more. But I love that app. It allows for going through the Bible in a year and studying that way, but also adding a bunch of other like little other plans if you want to focus on something particular like prayer or dealing with depression or things like that. It's really cool. All props to that app. Not a sponsor, but
Oh, we're getting in the chat here. Droid Red, hey, how's it going? You've been pretty long timer, I think. Will you participate in the 21-day plan challenge in YouVersion? He asks just now in the chat. I would not be opposed to that. I do not know much about it, but I saw a notification on my phone about it. You should explain what exactly that is a little bit better, but I'll look into that if you suggest it. Yeah, then yeah, absolutely. I'd love to look into
yeah.
that.
Oh, show.
Uh, Continuing with Steve Virgo's questions. Where are we? Do you believe horror films ignite dark forces in the world? That's the most brutal way to ask that question ever.
It is.
Um, I, I, I don't. How am I gonna? I gonna
That's a
watch what I.
hard one, dude.
That's
That's
that's that's
complicated.
that's hard. I will say right off the bat, I do not like horror movies, so I am
Mhm.
not in the mood to defend them. So I am going to be biased not to defend them. I personally find that they do not uplift me, and they do nothing but drag me down and take me to a bad place. They bring my heart down instead of helping. So I stay away from 'em. I don't like them anyways. They creep me out, and I
Yeah,
find them
they
gross.
give me lots of anxiety and creepiness. I don't
Yeah,
like it.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people who do like it for various reasons that
Hmm.
I don't necessarily understand, but if you like horror movies, look
Doesn't
into
make
your
you a horrible person.
I I look at your own heart and pray about that yourself. But personally, I haven't found that they do good. I only see bad coming from them generally for me. Um, so why do we have chins? Great question, Steve.
You know
Uh,
why we? Can I take this one?
go for it.
We have chins because that's where the beard goes.
I was gonna say the same thing. Increased surface area for the beard.
Exactly. I don't have any right now because I just shaved off my super long Gandalf beard that I can grow because I'm 12. Um, but that's lie. I'm not 12. But yes, beard.
Beard, yes, beard.
Yes, beard.
Funny we had the same answer for that. Next question. What made you to decide to venture into the big wide world of beard products? You want to take this one, Sam?
All right. So long ago, in a land far away, Caleb was adventuring with his eldest brother, Joshua, and them, as brothers and a crew, found a hidden village filled with people with beards. But the people were not happy with their beards, for they were long and dry and liked to punch them in the face. And it was just not a pleasant experience. But Caleb and Joshua believed that beards hold a secret power that is undeniable and fantastic. And so they wanted to reveal that power to this ancient tribe that they had discovered in their faraway journey, for they did not want them to hate beards, but they wanted them to love beards. So they began gathering ingredients from the mystical forest, and then they made beard oil. And it pleased that tribe, and then the tribe endorsed them with Beard Fury.
Beard Fury. Apocalyptus beard oil is on sale. If you have a beard, you can visit our Etsy page at Brothers Potion Shop. Um, there's a video about it, and there should be a link in the description, I think. By the way, Droid Red has specified that the 21-day challenge, basically you complete a Bible plan each day for 21 days starting February 1st. That sounds crazy, but that sounds cool.
Sounds brutal,
Yeah, I will look into that.
but I like it.
I need some definite Bible, uh, lots of it.
As we
Definitely
all
lots
do.
of it Bible right now in my
Definite
life.
lots of Bible beard.
Um, Next question. What is your go-to dance move? Uh, I am horrible at dancing. I tend to like a lot of Christian metal. Uh, and so my go-to is like the Goblet of Rage. But
Or the
uh,
classic, headbang.
headbang, yeah, when I had longer hair.
Yeah, you just have
Um,
that longer hair.
I would go to the Charlie Brown if I could really um, pull it off, but
Charlie Brown.
Charles, I love the Charlie Brown. He's awesome. The new movie is great if you haven't seen Peanuts, but
Oh, gotta see that.
so good, man. Um, how do you say your name? Muriel, is that right? I'm so sorry if I butchered that. Telfort asks in the chat real quick, how did you come up with the name for your beard oil? It's apocalyptus. It's a eucalyptus beard oil. Eucalyptus is the main ingredient, and then you pick a an essential oil to pair with eucalyptus. I uh, think that I personally like fir tree and cedar oil with it, but since it's eucalyptus and Apocalyptus. It was just kind of a brutal sounding. We were going for like manly, brutal
Gotta go for
sounding.
that metal, manly name for your beard oil.
Yeah, and some of you might not know, there's a bearded guy on here. This actually isn't the logo for all of our beard oils, which you wouldn't know because we only have one out, but the his actual like pieces of the beard that are hanging down there are in the shape of eucalyptus leaves. So in the future,
Ah, you
the
clever.
beard is actually going to take a different shape. There's a general one. If you order, you can see just his normal beard, but yeah, that's why, because it's a eucalyptus. So, and that's a pretty name, by the way. I have not heard it before, but I like it a lot. Um, let's see. What is your favorite food? Easy, lasagna.
Mom's
Sam?
lasagna.
Yeah, specifically mom's lasagna.
Yeah, mom's lasagna. Oh man, it's so good.
What's yours, Sam?
Mom's lasagna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
brothers in lasagna.
Yeah, brothers in lasagna.
Um,
It's so good, dude.
what would be your perfect day? Um,
24
like
hours of Splatoon. Just kidding.
there's a couple
Totally
of
kidding.
ways that uh, there's a couple ways you can interpret this. Um, obviously, you're not going to have a perfect day until you're, uh, in the presence of God. So that would be really the real perfect day there. If you're going by like here on this earth, a relaxing day, I've grown up with my family generally living in far away places from each other, so it makes it difficulty. There's always like a give take. Like there's always somebody here and there's always somebody on the other side of the country. So a really great day would be a day that I could hang out, have Bible studies with my entire family being near to me, and hanging out, playing some like retro games on old Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, or something like that. Having my fiance there and maybe doing some stuff out in nature too. We like geocaching and stuff like that. We're pretty simple people, but I get the most joy out of like family and close loved ones and spending time with close friends and just relaxing and sort of laughing together. Um, so it wouldn't need to be. Uh, I like doing big, cool things, but as a general whole, I'm kind of like a home person and a yeah family person. What about you, Sam?
I kid you not, I am the exact same answer. Like that was running through my mind. Like I gotta have my family near me, doing some Bible studies. I love outdoorsy things too, like maybe go on a hike or something. And I will throw in Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. Power burrito. You got to try it. Cantina power burrito is amazing. Uh,
What?
yeah, it's really good steak.
Yep.
Nate the Great, really quick here in the chat says, "Are you on Google Plus?" Yes, but it gets neglected a little bit. Just throwing it out there. We're on Google Plus. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. Um, we have our website. We're on YouTube, obviously, because you're here. So yes,
What?
we are, and we should be better about updating that. But yes, it is on there. And this is uh, this is a tough one. What is your ultimate dream for Gamer Faith? Hmm. Have you ever had a dreams that you had you do you will you want you do so you do you could you want I'm just
So
kidding.
much that you could do anything.
I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh, I can't
Um,
believe you went there. That's
I,
awesome.
I maybe I shouldn't have went there. That's a YouTube video. The
Yeah.
kid is adorable. I'm not making fun of him, but um, let's see. I'd really like to get to a point where Gamer Faith was able to sustain a bigger team. I feel a lot of times like my energy is diverted into areas that aren't the strength or aren't necessarily where I need to be, and it's growing, but it's at this weird place where it's still a small team, and it's hard uh, to do it all. And I find that that's slowing down as much as we could be doing. So if we got to a point where there was enough of a team that had time and that it could be sustained, um, that would be super awesome. Right now, it's just sort of a side thing. Um, and I would just like to see it grow into a collaboration of a bunch of geeky believers of any kind with big hearts and ideas that helped people grow in their service and love of God and others. Um, and I absolutely love Gamer Faith. If this was something that, was sustainable and I could put all my energy into it, I would probably go there tomorrow. But the fact of the matter is, it's not that way right now, and I trust that God knows what He's doing. So um, I am where I am right now, but I would love for this to just continue to grow so that I can keep uh, so that it in general, because it's all from God, 100% of the growth and everything. But I would love to see it get to a point where I could invest like a lot more time and energy into it. Yeah, and be sustained and have
Mm.
others on the team in the same boat. You have anything to add to that, Sam?
It'd be awesome for it to grow to a point where it could like hit so many ends of the spectrum in the forms of how it gets the message out, like a Gamer Faith animation, like uh you got the blog and the vlog and all that other stuff. Like that'd be really cool. Have a big team do all that stuff. Gamer
Yeah,
Faith books.
yeah, yeah. I'd love to see it just continue to grow. There's a lot of people with a lot of skills out there that have hearts in a similar place, and I'd love to see that collaboration just continue to grow and people continue to love others and love God more and grow and be brothers and sisters to each other. And
Hmm.
yeah, I love this place. You guys are great. And
It's beautiful.
yeah, I always find I get all stressed out with school and stuff, and then I find so much peace when I'm hanging out with you guys and talking to you guys, and I love it. So I love more of that in my life, honestly. So,
Mm.
um, uh, Eli, I'm gonna butcher your last name. Um,
Habibi.
is it Habibi? Did I say that wrong? Asks, what's your hobby? I I like to play video games a lot. I don't spend a tremendous amount of hours doing it because I don't feel really great when I do. Lately, I've been spending a little bit more time than I probably should on it because it's just been like something that Sam and I have been doing with Splatoon, hanging out. Uh, I
That's,
like outdoorsy stuff too. What, Sam?
oh, I was just gonna say because a lot of the time gaming is ultimately a way for us to like hang out with each other, and like that's almost a hobby. Like you and me hanging out together, or us as a family and brothers and sisters hanging out. Like,
Right, absolutely. Us hanging out is basically like my biggest go-to thing is hanging out with my fiance and hanging out with Sam. Those are my like two favorite things, whether that's geocaching, whether that's playing an online game together, whether that's watching movies together, whether that's just talking on the phone, or whether that's doing other crazy stuff that maybe we'll discuss in a little later. Um, I that's the biggest types of stuff I like to do. And then gamer faith is sort of a hobby too. Doing videos and stuff. We love that type of thing. Um, and we've dabbled in like hobbying and let's play type video type stuff.
mm-hmm.
Um, so that's another thing, I guess. We have lots of hobbies though.
Music, we play that music.
Sam is big hobby music. I do a little bit of art too. Um,
He's good at it.
uh, okay, so let's see. I think we're finally done with you, Steve. Sheesh. I'm just kidding.
Good
Next,
questions, too.
yeah, great questions. Next we have Christopher Trenner. Hey, how's it going, man? That is one Owl City fan. Uh, what is your visual acuity? Is that how you say that word? I don't know, actually, that number, but I will say that my eyesight is really bad without glasses and contacts. I can see up close perfectly, like I can see all this very well, although it's hard to adjust right now, switching between the two. Um, but far away, it's pretty bad. I can't see very far without them at all. Sam, do you know yours?
Um, that's like 2020 and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well, according to my last optometrist testy thingy eye exam, I think they said I had 2020. Although I've taken other like kind of sketchy physical exams at like my high school, where my eyesight hasn't been perfect, but I trust an optometrist a little bit more than like
Right.
med people in high school.
Right. We're getting a lot of questions in the chat right now. There's actually a lot still on the list from the comments of the announcement video that we did. So we're gonna move through. You can keep asking in the chat. Don't. I love the what's going on in there, but we're probably gonna move through the um, ones in the comments first, and then see if we have time to move on to the chat ones, just to be fair to those. Try to get through all of them for the people who asked first. So same, Christopher still. So far, what's your biggest success? All A ranks in Sonic Adventure 2. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But
Biggest
that did
gaming
happen.
success.
That did happen. That was like over 100 hours into Sonic Adventure 2 to get there and get like a minute long Green Hill Zone rendition level. But no. As far as talking about success is tricky. If we're talking about the things I've done on my own, it would be just like failure after failure after failure. I've been obese, I've been a liar, I've been an addict, a dropout, and a jerk, and everything else. So, all of my success is ways that God has taken my weakness and flipped it around. So, I was a dropout years ago, and now I'm a tutor. I tutor college students, and that's not because I'm so great. That's because God took me, um, and He said, "Seek first the kingdom of God." And um, I've tried to do that because of His grace and because of Him working in me and the heart He's put in me, and He's taken care of everything else. So all of my success, um, I'd say that's my biggest success is just what He has done in me to change me from what I am on my own to what I am with Him working in my heart. Um, and aside from that, just like, well, it's not aside from that, it's still a part of that, but just on a more like simple like line of thinking, it's super huge blessing from God to me that I'm engaged to like my best friend. Um,
You're not
uh,
engaged to me.
my other best friend.
Just kidding.
But she's awesome and she's great and she's
It's fantastic.
I suck in so many ways and she picks up the pieces there because God's made her that way and that's a big success to me too. And what about you, Sam?
I mean, I generally have the same answer. Like with, I attribute all my successes in this world to God. Like I wouldn't be able to do the things without Him. I mean, I've had some musical success in what I've done in life so far, and I attribute that to Him because like I couldn't do that without Him.
Yeah, and you're good at music, bro. Okay, next, can an imperfect love for Christ be perfected and why? Then defining that imperfect, loving Christ because like we would fear hell's punishment, imperfect being loving Christ because he yearns because we yearn to be reunited with him out of love. That is a heavy question. I'm not going to be able to do justice to that question in a few seconds of answering, I don't think. But that is a fantastic question. Um, I would say that I really believe that when we're truly and honestly seeking God, and the Holy Spirit is acting on our hearts, that yes, we do move from there. I used to find myself thinking about heaven and hell a lot. And indeed, that is super important subjects to think about. I don't find myself thinking about them all that much anymore, other than encouragement that there's a destination, that I'm not home right now. But I find that the more I find satisfaction in God, the more I am honestly inclined to do the things that matter to his heart, if that makes any sense. And the more inclined I am to just help because my heart aches to help. It's hard to explain, really. It's really something that has to be experienced. But I would encourage you to seek first the kingdom of God and just push towards him. And yeah, I think God is always bringing our hearts to where they need to be and making adjustments, and we learn a little thing here and then we grow and learn and grow and learn and grow, and it's all God. You have anything to say about that, Sam?
Yeah, you know, I really think that I was sort of in a place where I had God on the back burner of my life, like my earlier teenage years, where it was like, yeah, I'm saved, I'm a Christian, you know, I'm gonna go to heaven, but like I didn't put God first or anything. And then in my later teenage years, I went through an experience where I had dealt with more like anxiety and depression than I knew how to handle. And in that time, I really started seeking God. And when I did that, I realized that like a relationship with Him is something that I crave and that I need. Like it brings an immense amount of peace, and it feels so good. Like it's not about just being saved anymore. Like I really want relationship with Him.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you need it. It becomes the thing that holds you up from day to day.
It takes care of you. It's
Right. You just fear you couldn't be without it. It's like you couldn't survive without it. It's
hmm
like
oxygen.
more than oxygen. Yeah, exactly. Okay, moving on. Micah Marshall. Love that name, brother. Let's see. Do the rules and regulations that were spoken of in the Old Testament still reign true in modern society? I could go on and on and on about this. How do I answer this in a few seconds, Sam? There's a lot of Old Testament things that were given at a specific time to a specific set of people to pave a way. And I honestly believe that it was set to bring forth a group of people. And from that group of people came a Savior, Jesus Christ, who made a way for everybody. Um, and I think, just to put it most simply, a lot of those things were for that group of people at that time. And they're obviously like the Ten Commandments and stuff like that. We should be, listening to. It gets so complicated looking at all this stuff, and I could go on and on about it, but for the sake of time, that's such a big question. Um, but the biggest thing you need to do, listen to, you know, what Jesus says is the most important command, and which is loving God with all of your heart, and yeah, loving others as yourself. And you can look at the actual verse. I might not have said that exactly correctly, but I do believe everything else stems out of that. So everything that you're doing, whenever you're asking that question, compare it to those two things. And that brings me peace to oversimplify it. I spent way too many years trying to look at those Old Testament things without understanding the context and without having studied them in great detail. And it does nothing but set a snare for you. And the fact of the matter is, we're not good enough. We can't do it. When you the rules and stuff like that, we are not righteous by those rules. We can't do it on our own. That's why we need Jesus Christ. And I think that's a big piece of the puzzle there, that we need to be broken and humble and realize, hey, I need a savior. And there's a peace and a beauty when you get that and when you have that. Oh, okay. Sam, anything to add to that?
You nailed it. Keep on going.
Okay. What are your favorite video games and why? Nice question. A little bit more lighthearted. My very favorite video game is Final Fantasy IX. It is, I like it because the battle system, I like games for story. It's a very interesting story. It's old-timey fantasy. I like fantasy. And it's kind of bright and colorful. I like that. And it's
Good music.
great music, and very important. And the battle system, I like things with strategy and stuff like that. And turn-based battle system, I really like. Apart from that, if you're going to talk about my favorite games, my overall favorite game series is Zelda. And before anybody calls me out on it or whatever, like, there are things in these game series I realize that I don't appreciate. I'm just talking about as a whole, their stories, and I like the adventuring of it. I like the mental, like, puzzles and stuff like that. And Zelda generally has stories about. I like Link because he's a quiet, humble guy. He's never arrogant, really, unless you're watching like the cartoons that are hilarious. But
Excuse me, princess.
he
Oh boy, smooching time.
he's this humble dude who is usually out to go help people just for the sake of helping them, not because he's got all these people like, oh, I lost my dog, and he goes and takes care of it just because his mission is to go out and help people. And I just think that's super epic. I like that character. I like that story. I like Princess Zelda and all of it, and find it very interesting. So Zelda generally. Lately, Splatoon has been a big one in our family, and I love retro games. So Mega Man, Earthworm Jim, side-scrolling stuff. Uh, big, big thing for us. Have anything to add, Sam?
I follow pretty much the same lines. Zelda's my favorite game series. I love retro games too, like Mega Man and stuff, even though I suck at them sometimes. I love me a good platformer. But my all-time favorite game is probably E.T. for the Atari, because the plot of falling in those holes over and over again really speaks to me. Kidding. Just kidding.
It's just like in your life, you can really think about falling into those holes, but then you just get back out. And sometimes you just don't know what you're doing in life, but then you just
don't know why you're falling in holes, but you just do. And then Elliot comes and picks you up, and then you fall right down again.
Deep, bro. Deep.
But my real favorite game is probably Wind Waker.
Wind Waker. Fantastic. Love that game. Super pumped for Twilight Princess HD. Anyways.
Shout out to Castle Crashers, though, because I've played that game the most, probably. Well, the most playthroughs.
Yeah, I could go on about Castle Crashers, but I won't for the sake of time. Would you ever consider doing anime-related content? I actually have a blog of my own devoted to finding faith in the anime industry, and can always post my reviews on your website if you ever need the help. Anime is one of those weird things that's like sort of like video games sister sibling or something. I don't personally know very much about anime. I'm not opposed to it as long as it's the right type of anime. Obviously, anime gets really tricky, just like video games, where there's some stuff that's like, whoa, what am I watching?
Mhm.
But I'm not opposed to that idea, and feel free to throw the link to your anime blog in the comments or something, because I'm sure there's a lot of people who would be interested in that. And definitely keep in touch on that type of thing. I'm definitely not opposed to it. Whatever can get um, you know, the message of Jesus Christ out there to different groups of people.
We're
That
just
is
not super attuned to anime. We don't know a lot about it because we don't watch it that often.
right, exactly. It's just like we don't know that much about it, but if the team grew and we, it's right in line there, and I know a lot of people on the channel love it. But um, yeah, it's we're just not experts on it, so but not opposed to it.
Why don't you do a chat room question?
Chat room question. Okay, is there one that's standing out to you?
Nah, I don't know. Go through it.
I like Jonathan Thomas, and I haven't forgot about you guys up above him. Haven't forgot about you guys. You guys have some good questions up there. Um, I think this is an important one to a lot of subscribers he's asked, so I'm going to say it. But he says, why don't you post more videos? Boy, I would love to post more videos. I really would. It's like one of my favorite things to do is be on this channel posting videos and stuff like that. Um, it's it's really hard because it's
Geology.
because of geology. Yeah, I go to school and I work two jobs, and
He's crazy.
it becomes very difficult to make videos on a regular basis. It takes a lot of time. I also put spending time with my family and stuff like that is a very important priority in my life. Um, and for my own sanity and spending time with God just one-on-one. You can't just do this channel and do this stuff and then get rid of that. You need that personal time still, which if some of you are out there doing vlogs and stuff like that, keep that in mind because you're gonna you got to keep yourself charged up by being plugged into God. So it's very hard. I would love to make more videos, but the fact of the matter is, at this point in time, Gamer Faith isn't a sustainable thing. I'm not, you know, there's no way I can live off of it because that's just the way that life is, and that's where it's at right now. If it was ever at that point, I would absolutely love to make a lot more videos, and we're looking to explore new types of videos and stuff like that. I really want to know too. You guys can help us by um, telling us what kind of content you want. I know a lot of you guys like the Bible studies, and we're working on those and more of that. There's a new type of series coming out. We'll talk about that maybe a little later. That should be coming out this next week or a week or so. What types of videos do you guys want to see? Do you guys like the types of stuff you are seeing? Do you like these live things? Do you like the lessons? Do you like the vlogs? Do you want to see more gaming stuff, let's play type stuff?
More cats.
More cats? Do you want to see more cats?
More cats.
That helps us, but as of right now, that's why it's just a time thing. I feel bad. Like I want to make more videos for you guys. You guys, I'm constantly thinking about you, and I love you guys, but that is why.
Ultimately, summertime is the greatest time for video content from us because we're both out of school. Usually we're together, thank the Lord that we're together in the summer. And we could motivate each other to make videos and stuff, even if we are like really tired and running out of time. Excuse me.
Right.
Yeah, it's just easier then.
It's way easier in the summer. Back to Micah. Let's see. Could you share your personal story and how you came to Christ?
That's a long one, dude.
That is. There's somebody else. I don't know how do you say your name either. Is it Urian? 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 It's a pretty name either way. I'm sorry. All these awesome names I'm not attuned to, and you're probably tired of people pronouncing your name incorrectly.
Urian Dylan.
I'm engaged to a Sharia, so like I know how that feels.
If you're gonna be a teacher, boy, you need to get on these names. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
exactly. They asked, when did you get saved? Well, I have grown up in a Christian family and stuff like that. I'm gonna make this a really short version. There's actually a video on our channel more about our testimony. Um, you should check it out, and it's along the lines of how I overcame obesity, insecurity, pornography, and stuff like that. The video is something along those lines. It talks about it more. Um, I was born into a Christian family. I was never particularly against the idea, but I had just kind of gone on a path of my own, and it led to a whole lot of sin, and I had no regard for God and what was important to Him in my life. And basically, uh, God set a bunch of things in motion, and He came after me, and He got me, and He changed my heart. And then all of my weaknesses that were brought up based off of my own sin and selfishness, he turned them around and, um, really showed his power and his grace by doing so. So anyways, check out that video for a little bit more information. I'd love to talk more about that in detail, but unfortunately, with just the amount of questions we currently have, I can't do too much more detail on that. Do you have something to say, Sam?
Um, mine's a little bit similar. It's a different thing, but we can go into that later in
Okay.
another video or something. I think that'd be cool.
Okay.
Do it.
But the important thing is, we were totally lost, and everything good came from it. So how we came to Christ is, for me at least, is Christ came to me in a sense, humbled me, and totally changed my heart around. And he's still working on it, but it's awesome. Um, what are your plans for the future? Excuse me, hiccup. Do you feel like God is calling you to grow this website into something very large on its own, or will you ever collaborate with another blog such as Geeks Under Grace? Um,
World
I
domination, primarily.
primarily world domination, I would have to say. Um, I I would love to see this grow. Um,
Like we said before, totally down for growth and collaboration with other people.
yes. As for is that is that God's will for the channel? Currently, what I have on my heart is to keep going and to keep God at the center of it.
And
That's the
world
biggest
domination
thing. Um,
Sorry.
uh, and as far as growth is concerned, like the human side of me is like, yeah, growth, 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 growth. And the side of me that's like wants to get more people, but ultimately it's not me, it's God, and God knows what He's doing. So I would love to see this grow. Right now, I'm just called to be here and love as much as possible and try to keep going with this. And um, yeah, but I would love to see growth if that's where it went, and I do work towards trying to see it grow, and it has grown a lot since we started, which is a huge blessing. Will you ever do a Twitch streams or Let's Play series?
We'd love to do Twitch stream. We've talked about this many times, and if you don't know, we have it's not very active, another YouTube channel where we did Let's Plays. So
There's over 200 videos on another channel that is
just a
Sam and
few,
I.
only 300 videos.
Yeah, it's Sam and I have a channel that is literally Let's Play videos. It is Captain Davy Pones. That's Captain Davy PWNS. It's a
Shameless
green icon with a controller with like Jolly Roger flags going into it.
Jolly Roger swords.
Swords, yes, swords. Sorry. We haven't done much there yet. If you go there and you want to check stuff out, I suggest watching one. We did Battle Block Theater Insane Mode. If you want to laugh, watch that one. And second off, there's a series called Co-opified where we play through Mario 64 in a co-op way. Oh, what does that mean? You'll have to go check it out. So currently that's our Let's Play channel, and it was always, well, I had always kind of felt I needed to keep those things separate. If you want like clean Let's Play humor where they're not cussing every 5 seconds and all that stuff, go check that out. I'm not going to guarantee that Sam hasn't got hyper a few times and said something that might make you raise an eyebrow, but generally speaking,
I was younger in some of those LPs.
Yeah.
And it wasn't for Gamer Faith specifically. So I
that shouldn't matter. That shouldn't matter. But as far as other gaming related content, we're looking into it. It's funny that you asked that question. Do you read minds by any chance? Keep your eyes open in the next few weeks. Something's coming.
2 weeks.
Yeah, and it's gaming related. And let me know how you guys like it. And let me know, do you guys want a gaming channel? Do you like the Captain Davy Pones channel? Do you want us to do a separate Gamer Faith gameplay channel? Do you want us to have some gameplay on this Gamer Faith channel sometimes? Let us know. You guys got to tell us what you want, and we can help bring that to you. But we're not opposed to it.
Makes it easier for us because Caleb and I discuss for hours what to do with YouTube channels.
We're like,
but ultimately, we should just be told.
We're like, this is what they want, and we do it. And it's not what you want, and so it's hard. So we want to know what you guys want. So help us out there. But we're not opposed to that.
Not at all.
Do you ever take guest bloggers? For instance, you have been a fan of Pokemon since you were 3 years old. Nice. And you would love to write an article for you if I'm interested in the series 20th anniversary. Yes, stay in contact. I would love that. We love guest writers. The problem is we just need to look at it first, and some content, not that it's bad or anything, but some content just doesn't quite match with what Gamer Faith is. But we always love the help, and we've had a lot of guest writers so far. I guess not a lot, but a handful, and we would love more because we want to keep growing. But like I said, time is an issue, so we really want to grow that team. So if you feel like God's put something on your heart and that you want to help, stay in touch with us, and we can work together and try to figure something out. Okay, so that goes to all of you guys. Don't be afraid to stay in touch, but we just have to make sure that it's the right fit for this specific website. If it's not, it might be a perfect fit someplace else. But we're all about collaboration with other believers whose heart is in the same place. So if the heart is in the same place, and it's about loving God, loving other people, serving God, growing, leveling up that heart, then yeah, we want to work with other people, because really we're not trying to grow Gamer Faith. We're trying to, contribute to the kingdom. So that's the biggest thing. Anything to add to that, Sam?
Yeah, man. You got it.
I got it.
You got
it. Should we take another from the
chat? Yeah.
Eli Habibi, is that how you say it? Where do you live? Michigan. Kind of. But then
yeah, you live in Michigan.
Yeah, we're gonna go with that. And
Arizona.
Yeah, we live across the country from each other, so that's complicated. But let's see here.
I don't have a fridge over here. I just have a couple drinks on a stool. I swear.
Do you have a fridge in there?
I wish, but I pulled out like a Snapple bottle and a glass of juice out of the frame.
Once Upon a Church says, who do you get your inspiration from other than God, and why? Thank you for specifying that, because you knew the answer you were gonna get if you didn't specify that, didn't you?
Olimar.
Olimar, my cat, is a hero of mine. Goodness, that is a tough question. By the way, Once Upon a Church is a starting out channel, but I believe his heart's in the right place, and I believe there's going to be some cool content coming. So if you guys want to be warm friends to our neighbor here, Once Upon a Church, go over and check out his channel. Subscribe to him.
Beautiful day.
Yeah, see what he has to offer, because I think you will be pleased by what you find. I find, like, I'm gonna give a real lame answer. Well, I'll give a good answer first. I find a lot of inspiration from like certain people in my life, like my dad or people I've met at church, who have inspired me and helped me. A lot of people that I see just giving, and as I grow older, I realize like they weren't. They're not just like born a nicer person. They've really committed themselves to seeking God, and that has transformed their heart into being somebody who's so willing to give. Find a lot of inspiration there. I also find a lot of inspiration. Here's my bad answer. Like video game and movie characters, as weird as that is, I find them inspirational. So yeah, when I watch these epic stories or read these stories or whatever, and there are these characters that are willing to like give and be courageous and just fight for what's right, I find inspiration from that. Do you have an answer, Sam?
Basically the same. I find inspiration from my older brothers, Khalib and Joshua. That's
Yeah,
being
I
the
find
youngest.
inspiration from you too, bro.
We all find it from each other. It's a crazy blessing of a bond that we share, and I couldn't ask for anything greater. Um, but yeah, and my mom and dad and friends and stuff like that. There's lots of people who have touched my life, and they inspire me. And yeah.
Good. All right. Let's see. Droid Red asks, "What is your favorite parable in the gospel?" I love the parables in the gospel. I don't know if I can pick um, one. I really like the seed that falls on the path. Really like that one.
That was one of my first thoughts when he asked that. That one's a given.
Lately, I've been reading Luke. Get out to me. Check out Luke 7. Read it for yourself. But it basically has to do with, if I remember correctly, so don't quote me on this, but it has to do with somebody forgiving debt, and to one person they owe a whole lot, and the other owes a little, and the man forgives the debt of both of them, and basically what it comes down to is asking the question, who loves the master more, the one who is forgiven a little debt or the one who is forgiven a lot of debt? And what that gets down to is there's this woman that's cleaning Jesus's feet with her tears and hair, who's been a sinner, and the guy saying, "Do you know who this sinner is?" And he's saying, "Who loves me more, the one who's been forgiven a lot, the sinner who's been forgiven a lot and had their heart changed, or the righteous person who hasn't been forgiven much?" So check out Luke 7 and read it for yourself so you can get the full context. But that one's lately been standing out in my mind. But as like a whole, the seed on the path, um, that one strikes me many times with different things that my heart needs. So
Prodigal Son. It's a good one too.
Yes, also a good one. Very good. Oh, okay. Zach Macy. Hey Zach, what's up, man? In general, how do you know what God wants you to do with your future? Like, for example, college, marriage, etc. Also, how do you make those types of difficult decisions in your own personal life? This is a fantastic question, and I assume this really comes from your heart because this was a question that I really had from my heart. You will drive yourself insane and probably immobilize yourself from progressing forward if you go too crazy on this. So my suggestion to you is to seek first the kingdom of God. How many times am I going to say this? And his righteousness, and everything else will be added unto you. So whatever you're doing, put God at the center. Whatever you're doing, make it about glorifying God, make it about finding satisfaction in God. What do
I'm sorry. There was lag on the video, and I was laughing
you're
because
laughing at my lag?
at your lag. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Okay. So hopefully you didn't lag out on there, but yeah, seek first the kingdom, and yeah, I would recommend doing that, and that helps to put everything else in perspective. That's the short answer, but sometimes the simple answers that God has given me have been the most helpful. Do you have anything to add to that, Sam?
For me personally, a big one with that is prayer. Like talking to God, laying it right there at his feet, being like, I don't know what I'm doing here, but I need your help, and I need you to help me understand this. Like just being real with him in prayer, that brings me all sorts of peace in my unknown situations.
Right. Prayer, very important.
Pray about everything, worry about nothing. That's
It's a good
my
one.
favorite.
Yeah, that's a good thing to remember. Um, okay. Draw Everything says, do you ever feel like quitting YouTube? Interesting question. Yes and no. YouTube's a tricky and difficult thing if you're just starting. It's just like you put so much work in it, and sometimes it feels like you're getting so little payoff. I didn't ever know if we were going to get to 1,000 subscribers on any of our channels, but like on our other channels, the Captain Davy Potence channel, we've made over 200 uh, videos, and we're at less than 500 subscribers, and it's just like a very hard uphill battle. That channel we've pretty much neglected. If some you guys jump over, working on it more, and there's still stuff that happens. It's just very slow over there. Gamer Faith, on the other hand, if you're doing a channel, you really have to find a reason in your heart, a purpose beyond the numbers, a purpose beyond your own like satisfaction of growth. Like you have to get down to the heart of like, why am I really doing this? And if you have a good reason of why am I trying, then no, you don't really want to quit because it doesn't matter what happens, you still have to try. And Gamer Faith really has that with me. There's really a reason why I want to keep trying. Even when there's not all that interaction, if there's someone that it reaches, it still continues to be worth it. So Gamer Faith is something that I don't really want to quit, although it is very helpful and encouraging when I see those nice comments, when I see that growth, when we hit 1,000, which is awesome, and stuff like that. You have anything to add, Sam?
Not really, but yeah, I mean, um, when the artist finds value in his work, he has the like perseverance to keep going. And Gamer Faith is an art form. Like YouTube is a form of art conveying a message. So as long as there's value to find in the community and in the love and in the outreach, like can persevere through the stress of dealing with creating a lot of content.
Right. Um,
That came out of what I just read for my modern fiction class a little while ago.
oh boy. Uh, your favorite class.
Yeah. Ah, my battery.
Jesus for Teens Ministry. Better get that battery plugged in, boy. Jesus for Teens Ministry says, Caleb, I'm planning to start a YouTube channel and was wondering if you could give me some tips. And
All
they're
right, do
planning
it.
to make a channel that has short 3 to 5 minute long videos. Start, do it. I keep going. It's going to be hard at first. Keep in touch with me. I would love to help you with that. Keep in touch, adjust, figure out who your audience is and what they want, and figure out how you can reach out to them in a way that will encourage them and help them. Think about the types of videos you want to watch, and be nice to people. Be nice to, like, spend time. I guess what I'm trying to say, spend time building community. Those people matter. They're a huge part. Without it, there's no channel, and you will find that it's rewarding to get to know all the people. So make a huge effort in trying to get to know those people, because you'll find, wow, these are some awesome people and awesome friends, and it'll just help the whole thing. You want to build community around the channel. That's really important. Anything to add to that, Sam?
I missed half of it, so no. I'm sure you
Okay.
got it.
Right.
I was getting my charger.
It's all good. It's all good. I think there might have been one more on the channel that I missed. So let's see. Let's see. I'm looking in here. We've got a lot of these. Is there anybody in the comments that's feeling like I really missed them? I think there's one on the actual YouTube video that I'm gonna try to pull up here, that I may have missed. I copied the questions over into a notepad, and so I think that there was a recent one that came up on that video that I may have missed, but I'm checking right now. Okay, here it is. Chelsea Dalton. I'm not sure if this is really a question, but I think there might be a question within this statement. You're glad you find the channel. What are some of the videos you like to listen to on here? I think that might be more directed towards the audience than to us. But we will answer that anyways. So,
Yeah.
what types of videos do you like to listen to on this channel and in YouTube on general?
YouTube in general, I'm real big fan of Let's Play commentaries and stuff like that. I grew up watching Caleb here play video games. I spent most of my days hanging out, maxing, relaxing in his room, watching him play Final Fantasy. So it's always been something that I've enjoyed. However, I have a real strange love for cooking videos. And I'm not a cook. I don't know how to cook much. But man, do I love watching people make food on the internet. Love it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it is pretty fun. Good Mythical Morning.
Oh, yeah. How did I miss that? How did I
Yeah,
miss that? Good Mythical Morning. That's
we
like my favorite.
we really like Good Mythical Morning. On this channel, personally, I don't find that I watch a lot of the videos
I
of
don't
our own
either.
videos.
I hate hearing my own voice.
Right. I personally like making the live ones where it's more than one person, more than just me, best. And um, the Bible studies are very popular around here. A lot of people really like those ones, understandably
Yeah, they
so,
are.
because the content is from the Bible, which is much better than anything I'm going to have to say. Um, so those ones are personally good.
But the
Now,
ones with Olimar are pretty fantastic.
Olimar, yes. Olimar is an awesome orange tabby. My question to you guys sort of is, if you can, please tell me, what kinds of videos do you guys want to see here in the future? Because we really want to make videos, and we're sort of flexible, and we're gonna remain uh, making content that we believe will help you level up your heart. With that being said, we place a lot of value in like laughing together and just having a fun, good time together. Do you guys, as subscribers, would you like to see more content that is like a mix of content between Bible studies and lessons, and then also just kind of like hanging out and laughing? Like Sam and I have some games and stuff like that that we're thinking about doing live. Um, we have a lot of fun personally playing these sorts of games, and I'm not even talking video games. I'm talking like you don't have
GMM
to,
style.
yeah, kind of GMM style, sort of quiz games and like stuff like that. Would you guys like to tune in to sort of fun stuff like that? Would you like to see more vlog style stuff? Because we could work towards that too if you want to see like just more vlog style, like because there's this dangerous line of like, I don't want to oversaturate the channel with stuff that you guys don't want to see, but maybe you guys just want to see more in general. And I don't know, we don't know where to go. That line is dangerous for us. So we really want to know what you guys want so that we can make content that you guys like. Because if you come out with 20 vlog videos and one lesson video, it seems like you're not doing any lesson videos anymore. If you come out with one lesson video and a long time passes and another lesson video and no vlogs, it seems like, oh, well, that's still their main focus, even if the same amount of time has passed, just because like you get oversaturated with one type of video. But we're willing to make more content if that's the type of thing that you guys want. But you guys just have to let us know. Let's see. Got somebody in here just dropping by. I want to let you know I've enjoyed your videos and keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Micah. That means an awful lot to us.
Oh
That's super
yes,
nice. Thanks.
means a ton.
Yeah. What are the most difficult, this is Droid Red again, what are the most difficult books to read in the Bible, in your opinion? It's a fairly easy question for me, I guess. It's probably the common answer. I have a lot of trouble with Leviticus. I just recently have finished reading it. Um, just the pacing of it, I have to mince in a lot of New Testament and stuff like that when I'm going through that one. Not that there's not stuff there, but it takes a little more work. It's hard to read ancient text like straight up. Not that there's not value in it, but it's just hard to do that sometimes. So that one is a difficult one. Um, Revelation is one that is difficult and takes a lot of thinking. It's not difficult so much to read through, but it takes a lot of like digging and really investing a lot to
Because if you
get out of
take
it.
if you take it all at like surface value, it's confusing. It's confusing in general, and it requires like a lot more in-depth thought and uh, outside research. I think I haven't been all the way through it. I need to listen to commentaries on it because it
Right,
confuses me.
right.
There's a lot of symbolism and stuff in there that I can't just be like, ah, oh, yes, that's what it is.
Yeah, and interpretation, and yeah, that's one you got to be careful with, and super important, but difficult um, in certain regards, maybe. You would have to consider that. I think that we've moved really through um,
All of them?
most of the questions. Uh, where do you go to school? Is one. Um, we both go to a community college currently, but are planning to transfer to a university. soon, and I'm going for elementary education. And
Same.
yeah, so cool.
Elementary music education.
Yeah. So Droid Red says, I enjoy your Bible studies and topic videos. I would not mind one bit to see more of those types of videos, but do whatever you feel led to do through the Spirit. Good answer. That's absolutely true.
You
And
get
that
a
should be
cookie.
the main thing. You get a thumbs up. Thank you for being so involved and helpful in this discussion. Well, we're well over an hour.
Oh,
We're like
yes.
almost at an hour and a half in this, but I think we moved through all the questions. It took some time, um, but I think that we got them all. Sound off in the comments if we missed yours. Now's your chance. Hurry. If you have any questions, hurry. Um,
When did we get saved? That was the one we missed.
when did we get saved? Um,
3 years old, technically. Feel like I really got saved like last year when I was 17.
yeah, that's a hard one to pinpoint. I think it's what a lot of people have is where they're born into a family that believes a certain way, and I've never been against those beliefs, but the faith really started to become me seeking it and growing myself in my own heart, growing probably around 17 or 18 years old, I would say.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's what I would say. And then I got baptized in my 20s. So I got, so yeah, that would
I want to
be,
do that again.
ooh, yes, Jonathan Thomas, good, thank you. You did exactly what we asked you to. We did miss one. Where did you come up with your YouTube channel name, and how did you know that you were led to create it? I do remember seeing that. Uh, man,
In the ancient village with the bearded folk, after he gave them beard oil, they told him the name. YouTube channel. Just kidding. Lies.
um, Gamer Faith, I don't even know how I came up with it. It wasn't like it was just something that it was just sort of always Gamer Faith. Like I kind of thought about it, like I had a few like what is this channel and what is it about? And it's really it's about God, but it's for a geeky culture. And I wanted to stay away from terms like nerd or geek or something like that. Not because I'm opposed to them. I always call myself a nerd. I always call myself a geek. But some people find those to be like
Derogatory.
insulting, yeah, derogatory terms. So I wanted to really stay away from that because I didn't want it to take away from the message. Like, oh, I'm a geek, so I'm not. I'm a lower person, and then like it to take away from the message. Not that I have anything against the term geek. And gamer uh, just was in there. So I had some words floating around. Why are you laughing at me?
Because I think what really happened is you were on the toilet one day and you're like, I like gamer and I like Faith. Why am I not sleeping?
Uh, no. Yeah, Gamer Faith just had this certain ring to it that I liked. Um, how did I know, or how did I? What was the other? How? Let me read this correctly. How did you know that you were led to create it? It's actually kind of a strange situation. I was big into animating. Animation was a big thing, and I was spending a lot of hours animating this mini cartoon. Um, and I sort of had in the back of my mind this idea for Gamer Faith, right? It had kind of been put in my heart, but I kind of just shrugged it off like, I'm not that good of a writer. Who's going to want to read that? This is sort of weird. I don't know what I even think of this idea. It's kind of strange. So I kind of put it off and put it off and put it off. And I didn't want to like, I don't want to write. That's sort of embarrassing to people to read what I have to write. Um, so I just went on animating, and then I sat on the pen that went to my graphics tablet. I went to pull it out from under my tush, and the thing broke, but still worked. But I'm like a man, so it's like kind of pulled out, and I'm like, I'm gonna fix this. Totally broke the whole thing, totally busted, didn't work at all. So then I'm like, how am I gonna animate? My pen is broken, and that really stinks. I'm really upset about it. So then I was like, well, there was that other idea in the back of my head. Maybe I should just like work on that. And then all of a sudden I started it and decided to just keep going with it. And then like people started commenting and it changed. And at first it was like a little free blog and it moved over to WordPress's free blog. I think it was Tumblr on first. And then like, then I got, actual domain and like, it just kept growing and growing. And I, I felt like I wasn't qualified to do this. This wasn't something that on my own I'm like, I'm going to do this. This is a great idea. I was like, I'm not qualified to do this type of thing, but I felt called to do it anyways. And when you feel called to do something that you're not qualified to do, that's when God really shows you, hey, I'm the one who's in charge of qualifying people. You may not, be the right person to do it, but I'm going to make you the right person because your power comes from me. Um, and that's really what happened with Gamer Faith. Um, then we got a YouTube channel to expand upon it. Now the YouTube channel has become probably the biggest part of it. So God really knew what he was doing and put things in motion totally in order to set that all in place. Um, yeah, you have anything to add to that, Sam? I've been jabbering
No,
on and on.
no. That's good. That's good. There's one more question in the chat for you.
I see that. Spaniard asks, how long did it take you to grow your crazy awesome beard? And
Cat Santa, something.
an emoticon of Santa Claus. Um, my beard currently isn't very long. I really just shaved a ton of it off. It was getting pretty. It was significantly thicker than this, but yesterday I shaved. Um, thank you. First off, that's very nice. It took a while, man. It wasn't until I was in my 20s that it started really coming in like thick everywhere. But as soon as like I realized I went the stubble route for many, many years. Whoa, getting some action here.
Sorry.
Guest appearance. Somewhere in my 20s, I was able to grow the full beard, and I got to a point where I stopped wanting to look like a toddler, and so I kept it and developed this. So if you want to take your beard to the next level, try it. All right. All right. Cole Cunningham, does the Bible say anything about games? That's a hard question. Not sure exactly what angle. There are a lot of elements about games or things about them. There's stuff in the Bible that relates to it. But I exactly like games in general. I don't know. I'm having trouble thinking of a specific thing where they play a game. Obviously not a video game, but can you think of anything, Sam?
I can't either.
I do think that there is parts that talk about like joy and celebration and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Of course.
So, playing games with my fiance and stuff like that, that would be one thing and with Sam. That's one way that we celebrate and have fun and stuff like that. Anyways, moving on. I'm not sure if I had a really good answer for that. I'm sorry. Um,
Spaniard put in an answer for that.
um, uh, so I don't know if I should say this. Should I say this? Should I say this, Sam? This answer. What?
This is funny. Because now he's like, I don't think that put games in a positive light.
Right. This is a chat exclusive, okay? So if you guys are here in chat, this is an exclusive that you guys can see what he said. And no, that certainly doesn't put games in a positive light. Let's see. Jonathan says, I think I'm being led to create a channel on YouTube, but I was worried about if God could use me or not. So thanks for the encouragement. No problem. I'm sure that you're here for a reason. And Jonathan, please stay in touch. Do not be afraid to keep in touch about this type of thing. I am all about collaborating and meeting new people, and especially if it's for the sake of the gospel, especially if it's for helping people level up their hearts. So do not be afraid to keep in touch with us. We're friends. So Mr. Jeremiah's tube says hello. Huh?
I said praying for you, man.
Yeah, praying for you, man. Absolutely. Hey, Jeremiah, what's up, brother? Glad to see you here. I don't know if you were here earlier, but if you weren't, you should check back because yours was one of, I think it was the second question we did. And so you should check that out. But okay, I think that's the end of the questions again. There's a lot of you in here right now. So I hate to...
hour-and-a-half stream. That was nice.
Jonathan Thomas, will we ever see your fiance on your channel?
Go get her.
Fiance is a mystery. I actually think if you look hard enough, there may be videos that she is in. Is it possible? Is it possible that that she hasn't been? She's a little shy. She's a huge part of this. She's a huge help, but she doesn't really want to be front and center action, you know, on the screen as much. So
go get her.
Maybe she's on the phone right now. I can hear her out in the other room.
Go get her.
I'm not gonna get her right now.
Do it. Get her.
All right. Are you getting paid by YouTube? And do you hope for Gamer Faith to be your full-time job? Am I getting paid by YouTube?
We made $100 once.
Yeah, yes. Technically, I'm getting paid by YouTube. However, it is not very much. It is not very much at all. It equates to years of effort to get, like, we've gotten one payout from Google, which that goes between the website and YouTube and stuff like that. And we have a video talking about that money and what we did with that money and stuff like that. So technically we are, but it's a matter of like cents a day. And it's a matter of like probably a couple dollars at max, you know, over a long period of time. So
about how many views Turtle Power got?
Right. So
go check out that video. That's the pride and joy of the Captain Davy Pons channel.
Okay, I'm trying to look here. Oh, would I like it to be a full-time job? If we ever were at a point where that could be a full-time job, like, dude, that would be amazing. I would love that. I love this community, as we've talked about that a little bit earlier. Totally love it. Right now, it's not there yet, and God knows what he's doing. So God has me in some other places, and God knows where he wants all of us right now. But if that ever became at somewhere where we were gonna go there. I would love to have there be more Gamer Faith content and do this as a full-time thing. Be fantastic. But you guys are a big part of it, and so hopefully we can all keep growing together. And the more we grow, hopefully the more we can produce, and the more we can. I'm trying to. Cole Cunningham. I know they were clearly saying anything about video games in the Bible.
Read the bottom one.
They didn't say anything about it, but would it branch off of murder, or am I just going crazy? Are you meaning like is like playing murderous games like in your heart, is that like a sin? Is that where you're getting at? Is that how you interpret that, Sam? Am I going crazy? You're not going crazy, Cole. I think I'm going crazy. um there's a wide variety of video games. As far as our video games bad or good or evil or sins and stuff like that, stay tuned to the channel.
We've got a video coming for you.
A whole video coming out about that soon. So
we can never get the audio to work.
Yeah, it's up there. It's queued now.
Oh.
But you guys can't know what it is. All right. Okay. Spaniard says, cool, thank you for the great answer. I'm excited to see how God will grow the Gamer Faith ministry. Thank you. We're excited too, and it's humbling, and it's all God. And you clearly see that, and I'm glad. So thank you guys so much for being so involved in the chat and everything.
Yeah, that was awesome. I was pleasantly surprised. That was amazing.
We have to do this question. Keep sounding off. We're having fun. If you guys want to have us keep answering questions, we'll keep going, but we're gonna run out of questions here.
You're lagging out, bro. I can't understand you.
Oh, sorry. Spaniard asks, Sam, what is your testimony and how did you meet and become friends with Caleb? You talked a little bit about your testimony before. We might make another video about that in more detail.
Yeah, we'll do that.
You can look earlier in the video for a little bit of detail there. But go ahead and tell them, how did you meet and become friends with me?
I met Caleb the day I was born because I was being born, and then Caleb turned around and ran to the hospital and was like, Mama having baby! And yeah, Caleb's my older brother.
Yeah. Yes, thank you for drawing that out, Samuel. Sam is my little brother, yeah, and we're also best friends. So, but that was a cute question, and I guess a lot of people maybe didn't know that, who weren't haven't. There's only certain videos where we maybe mention that. So, but yeah, Sam's my little brother, and I met him the day he was born. So,
yes.
Thank
you, Dad.
Oh, a guest appearance. So, any other questions, guys? Give you a few seconds. He said I had no idea. That's awesome. Now you know. Cool. So, Me3, is that how you say your name? I know you talk a lot about losing weight and stuff, but I have such a busy lifestyle. How do I start exercising? Oh, sheesh. Me3, to be honest with you, I have been My3. Is that better? This is something I've been struggling with too. Been super busy and stuff like that. The best thing you can do is find something that you love doing that you can consistently do, so that you can consistently keep up on it. My weight isn't where I would want it to be right now, and that's something that happens. The biggest thing you should do is be focusing on God, but your body is important, and that's related a lot to your mood. So I like riding my bike. Um, I like going on walks. I like lifting weights. So I try to make time to do that and prioritize it. Um, and just fit it in there. Find a time that's good for you. And you say you're super busy, a super busy lifestyle. I totally get that, and you're probably always sapped all the time and no energy, and I get that, and I fall into that, so I can't say, like, I do any better than you're having trouble with, but it really does pay for itself a lot of times, like, if you exercise and actually put into it, you'll have more energy when you're doing the other stuff that you're so busy with. It really tends to improve that quality when you're getting healthier. I also pay attention
Starting
to what
is the
you're
hardest
eating.
part.
Yeah, starting's the hardest part. You get on a roll, then you're gonna want to do it. I find,
Right. There's
you know,
motivation in just continuing, but starting from the bottom again, because Caleb and I, when we were together, we'd work out a ton, and then I came back to Arizona and started going to college, and I have not worked out since. Like, I've been really busy, and yeah, I feel like, but
yeah, yeah. The other thing, find somebody to do it with.
yeah,
Find something you love and do exercise with. Go co-op, and it'll be a lot easier. Um, Jeremiah asks, "How many pets do you have?" That was an earlier question we actually asked. Currently, unfortunately, there are no dogs in my life. I love dogs, but I have two kitties and one that is like a kitty niece. So Olimar, Katniss, and Zelda is technically my older brother's cat, but staying with us. And Sam has three kitties.
kidnapped 3 of the neighbors' cats.
Yeah, they are Silver. It's no use. And Prim
Shadow.
and Shadow.
Yep.
Okay. Um, Cole Cunningham has a couple more. Is there evidence for God you know of that could help me on my atheist friends? Yeah, there's a ton of it. Unfortunately, I'm in this stream and the amount of time, and the fact that we're not really like seasoned apologists, but I do watch a lot of channels about that. Check out a channel called the 1 Minute Apologist. There's a lot of resources out there for that type of thing. So stay in touch. Anybody out there listening, if you need help finding um, things like that, uh, it it's really helpful. I
We should,
personally, what, bro?
oh, I was just gonna say we should do a video on it, or you should, because it's something that I have a hard time with too. Like, I just don't know
Right.
how to talk about that.
Right. There's a Genesis series by Chuck Missler. If you want some detailed, deep stuff going into the creation and all this stuff, um, uh, and my three says apologeticspress.com. Um, yeah, there's tons of stuff out there. One big one that I'll just throw out there is if you look at the complexity of things and how detailed and organized everything has to be in order for life to be possible, um, it's just unbelievable. And the more you look into it, the more insane you realize like how much detail is into this. And it's just so creative and so beautiful, and it's there's tons of evidence in everything we see around us, the fact that there's life at all. The biggest piece of evidence, however, on a personal level is when you have God speaking to your heart and working on your heart. You just know that it's not from yourself. You're getting stuff in that heart that has to be from a graceful and loving creator. And that's not really an apologetics answer, but check out those other uh, resources. And yeah, there is tons of stuff there if you look at it. Um, and let's see.
It's another good one in there that I don't really know how to answer.
Which one? I struggle with doubt and just
Yep.
wanted to know if you have any advice. Also from Cole, um, the same answer. The biggest thing I can give you is to take the time to really dig into God. Um, if you're not spending a lot of time with God and you're not spending a lot of time, you know, watching or listening or reading stuff on it, it becomes easier to begin doubting. But the more you pray and the more you dig in, the more you realize like this God is more of a reality than I am. Um,
Hmm.
and so just keep digging in. And once again, there's tons of other resources out there. I'll flat out say like I'm not the specialist on this, but there's a lot of people that I follow on YouTube and whatnot who have done a lot more research. They're called specifically to a lot more apologetics type stuff. So check those things out. Like I said, the 1 Minute Apologist on YouTube is good. Apologeticspress.com, my three says is good. Um, uh, there's a Ray Comfort video, Evolution versus God, that I personally enjoy watching. Um, so yeah. Oh, and the Chuck Missler, it's heavy, but the Chuck Missler Genesis Bible study, it's heavy and detailed, but the more it's so detailed, it'll just blow your mind. And I recommend that one if you're in for like really getting into it.
Mm. Yeah, I think you got that. I think you nailed that doubt thing because I've had issues with that in the past too, like doubting and stuff. But not say that I don't have doubts now, but I've come to a better place with regards to it. And I didn't know really how I got there exactly, but it was through kind of growing that relationship with God and like really digging in that you kind of understand more. So
And we got some people in the comments. They're really there right now. Thank you guys. Spaniard said, I think it depends on the topic too, in regards to what the atheists may have questions about. Yeah, there's different answers for different things. My three says, just remember, just because it doesn't make sense doesn't make it untrue. A lot of times things make we're never going to have all the answers. Only God has all the answers. So never expect to have all the answers, but that doesn't, things do um, make sense, and God does for it. So keep digging. Droid Red says, Cole, hold steadfast in your faith. I once struggled with doubt, but I agree with Caleb. Study some apologetics. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be opened unto you. Perfect advice. Christopher Trenner says, reflection and prayer help to clear up some doubts. Yeah,
yeah,
I totally
prayer,
agree.
totally.
And in one season of Weird Struggle in Doubt, Matthew 4, I believe it is, where he's in the wilderness. And I think that's the first Bible study hangout that we ever did. So you can check out that video. It doesn't directly relate, but for some reason that helped me a lot at a period of time in my life when I was younger. So I tend to point that out for people to check out in those situations. Maybe it'll help. I'm sure it'll help in some way or another. Whether it'll address that specific issue, I don't know, but it did for me. Oh, Mr. Jeremiah's too says, "How can I pray more?" That's hard. Yeah, it's hard, but it's so important. And when you really set your mind on how important it is, sometimes I'll be having a lousy time and I'll be like, man, why am I having such a lousy time? Why is this not going so well? Why doesn't this work? Like I'll put all this effort in and I'll just like it'll all fall on my face and I'll be like,
Right.
why? And then I realize, dude, like I haven't prayed about this at all. What am I
Yep.
doing? So like, and I'll
Totally.
pray about it and boom, like that's another like personal evidence for God is you can really see like sometimes he just I think wants you to make that humble connection like, hey, I'm in control. What are you doing worrying, trying to fix all this stuff? When you should be having faith and putting it in God's hands. There's so many verses about faith. Jesus talks about faith so much. And I think prayer is a big part of faith. So just if you can remember the importance of it and just fight to keep that at the front of your mind, it's definitely worth it. Definitely
And
pays off.
you can do it all the time, anytime. I personally pray in the shower, like, all the time, because they're a great place for me. And like when things come into my head randomly, just do it right there. And I totally relate. Like I'll be struggling with like a week at school and be like, man, just not my week. And then I'll realize, oh, I haven't prayed about this and that thing, and then get on
Right.
that, and it goes better.
Right. Yeah. And these little guys here, these these are awesome, but these can hurt your prayer a lot because I find that whenever there's a moment of quiet, this is what the human side of me goes for.
Yes.
And sometimes like this isn't what it should go for. So a lot of times there's a quiet time and I should be praying. So just to try to keep discipline in yourself and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, go for that. Sam's eating dinner. We're going long here,
I'm
guys.
sorry.
You guys just keep the questions coming and that's great. But yeah, this is going about an hour and 15 minutes longer than I thought it would originally. So
Forgive me. I've got a bowl of beef stew over here.
yeah. Um okay. Spaniard, I gotta go, but I'm praying for you, Caleb and Sam, and I hope to hear more from you guys. I'll be hitting up the discussion boards and comments section in the future. Brother in faith, Spaniard. Yeah, you're
Thanks,
awesome,
man. Good to
brother.
have you here. You're
You're awesome, brother. You're probably
awesome,
already
dude.
gone, but yeah, thank you for stopping by. Um, Cole Cunningham.
Absolutely.
It says, "I apologize for my many questions, but can I glorify God with beatboxing?" First off, your many questions are fantastic, and you don't need to apologize. Thank you for
Yeah, dude.
asking.
Totally.
We're happy to keep asking them. Can you glorify God with beatboxing? Yes, of course. Yeah, you can. If I can, you know, seek to glorify God with video games and movies, then yes, you can with beatboxing. And whatever you do, do it for the glory of God. So if beatboxing is your thing, that's really awesome, and I'd love to hear it. And absolutely, just keep God at the center, and whatever you do, do it for God's glory. Um, Mr. Jeremias, why did I call you that? You're just Jeremias. Your brother Jeremias to me. How can I love people more? That's a great question. Um, our human hearts are not inclined on their own to love people. I find they are inclined to love ourselves,
Hmm.
and they're inclined to love people that love us back.
But if you look at how Jesus loved, that's probably the ultimate way to like
Yeah,
realize how to love more. Like
yeah, Jesus
seeing
gives
how
the perfect example.
how selfless his love was and how it was for everybody, and it always will be. Like it is awesome.
Right, and just plug in, read your Bible more. The more you plug into God, um, it's like this unspeakable amount of energy flowing in you, like just overflowing into your heart and out. And the more plugged into God you are, the more you find your satisfaction in God, the more you're just going to overflow, loving others. And everything makes the most sense and is the most simple when you're there. Even the most complicated things are on the side because your mission makes so much sense when you're in that place. And you just have to fight to stay plugged into God because God is love and he's where our love comes from. So
Plug into that power source.
yeah,
Reach for it.
yeah. Where's our beatboxer? We need that.
Yeah, I know. That's awesome that you can beatbox. That's really cool.
It is really awesome.
Lay some
Alexander
beats down, Caleb.
wasn't what's that battle block video we did where I lay some sick
Oh
beats
my
down
gosh.
for our other YouTube channel, the Let's Play. Alexander Mason, you are one of my favorite YouTubes.
Aw.
Thanks. Thank you. That's
Aw.
awesome. I'm
That's
glad.
so cool.
Um, that's really nice, man, and that type of comment really motivates us and means so much to us. I always like reply and say that stuff, and I sometimes worry that people are going to underestimate how true that really is. But when you guys say stuff like that to us, words are powerful, and you're contributing to the ministry just by doing that because you keep us encouraged, and that's fantastic, brother. So thank you. Um, how do you ask someone to forgive even though you don't deserve it? Who? That's Alexander also. Um, you just have to. None of us like think about our sin, and think about the measure in which our sin compares to the glory of God, and we are even the smallest thing compared to God's glory and His holy. You know, we don't deserve that forgiveness, but that's why um, it's so beautiful that Christ offers that forgiveness. So,
Hmm.
um, if you don't deserve it, uh, the thing is, you still ask for it, and there's always forgiveness. You know, seek that forgiveness.
Hmm.
God's a graceful and forgiving person, and if we are in Christ, in God, we are called to forgive. Also, another important thing. Um, if you want to get accepted forgiveness, you need to be ready to forgive other people too. And it just doesn't click well when you're somebody who, you know, is proclaiming the glory of forgiveness in your own life, that God forgives you, and then
Harboring your
you,
own resentments.
yeah, you're so ready not to forgive and so ready to be proud of how little you forgive.
Hmm.
There are people that have that attitude. It's not right. And there's Bible verses that go along with that. So yeah, in your situation, my three says pray about it. That's a good answer.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
and yeah, we're all forgiven for things we don't deserve to be forgiven for. So you're not alone, brother.
Cole Cunningham.
Um, do you guys have an Xbox One? Hope it's not too personal. That's not too personal at all. Um, no,
No.
we don't. My
360
brother,
still.
my future brother-in-law won an Xbox One from French Fries at McDonald's, which is a nice little piece of information. Um, I have a Wii U. Sam has a Wii U. Sam also has a PS4. I do not have one of those quite yet, but I'm sorry, we do not have an Xbox One. We have Xbox 360. Are you wanting to play something? I'm sorry, we don't have this time. Um, Nate the Great NL. Does God put certain people in your life for reasons? Uh,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah, I might even go as far to say God puts everybody in your life for a reason. He's in control of it
Yeah.
all. That's not to say there aren't people in your life that will influence negatively, you know, but yeah, God puts people in
Even
your life for a reason.
even in my experience, like I went through a point in my life where like I got involved with a group of people that wasn't good for me, but coming out of that was a wonderful learning experience for me about like neglecting my other friends or things like that and like who to get involved with. So even if it is a bad situation, good can be made out of it with the people who are in your life.
Yeah, take bad situation, turn it good. Absolutely. Um, Alexander Mason. So, who is your favorite online preacher? That's an awesome question. I really like that question. Um, uh, John Piper for me. Uh, it's a really easy question for me to answer for some reason. Uh, I find myself very inspired by John Piper, which is Desiring God. Um, he's the main pastor of Desiring God. I He focuses so much on the heart and finding satisfaction in God and glorifying God and putting God at the center, and that really helps me find that very encouraging. Sometimes his messages are challenging, but it just really cuts to the heart for me. So that's probably my answer. Do you have an answer, Sam?
Caleb Nicely, for sure.
My secret identity.
My secret
Oh,
identity.
I'm not a pastor, but
But she
uh,
will be.
thanks, brother. Um, So Jeremiah says, "Congrats on the 1,000." Thanks, brother. That is, it's awesome. I remember a long time ago discussing with Sam, like, wonder if we'll ever have 1,000 subscribers. It just seems so far off and impossible. And the fact that we're here and we've got you guys in the chat room asking these questions and communicating during this live event that's gone on for 2 hours.
It blows my mind. Totally not what I was expecting. Like, the amount of community is amazing. It's such a blessing.
Yeah, it's a huge blessing, and it's all God, and I'm super blessed that I get to have uh, a part in this community, that I get to be a part of it. Yeah, Sam and I are both super blessed. It's all God's doing, and it's awesome. So thank you. Alexander says, so how do you get someone to go to church even though they grew up hating the church?
That's hard.
That's
I
really tough.
experienced that in my own life.
Um,
Praying about it.
Pray about it is a really important thing.
Pray, you know, for the salvation of that person, and ways that you can influence their life, or God can work through you.
Right. And Cole Cunningham says, "Be loving and gentle about it, brother."
Yeah.
And that's a really good answer. God is not confined to the inside of the walls of a church. Church is, the people, and so you can take church right to that friend. You don't have to get them to go through a door, even though they might, that could ultimately be something that really helped them. But you show them love, you show them Jesus through your actions and stuff like that, and you can really start ministering to them right where you are, and you might be in that place reason, but do it all in love, do it all in a graceful, gentle way, and be plugged in to God about it, and pray for their salvation. Jeremiah throws in there, and that's absolutely true.
Totally.
Pray for them, show them love, show them compassion.
Yeah, showing love and living by example is a great way to do that.
Maitri says, I am so glad you guys are like this, because if it were me, I would be like, peace out, I need to be somewhere, or be very impatient about it and think about the many things I had to do. Well, you're here right now, and you're helping and you're contributing. So I don't know if you would be like, peace out. So take that. No, no, you're awesome, and you guys in the chat are helping tremendously with this. I think it's really awesome that you guys are just jumping in there, ready to answer these questions with us. And that's exactly why, one of the reasons why Gamer Faith is so cool, is it's a community. It's not just a person. This is about us working together, and you guys are as much a part of this as me. This is God working in a bunch of people's lives, and it's a big collaboration to help our hearts grow. And it's cool. It's like a church in its own sense, a meeting full of believers working together to grow. And for those of you that are very involved here, the gamerfaith.com website has a community section with forums. I think a lot of you guys would be very helpful there. So I'm just going to say straight up, first off, if you're wanting help with something or have questions, or second off, if you're looking for a way to contribute and to do something for the kingdom, it would be tremendously helpful for us for you to go over there and sign up and help answer questions and talk to people, because there is a fantastic community there. And yeah, I love it. So maybe check that out. Jeremiah asks, how can I cast all my cares unto Christ? It's so easy to stop casting your cares on Christ, but it's so pointless to stop casting your cares on Christ. So keep reading those Bible chapters about anxiety and stuff like that. We have video on anxiety and stuff like and those issues. And this is something that I constantly have to be reminded of. Not remind myself, but God's constantly reminding me. So just keep plugged into those. Keep praying.
Yep, it's just like praying. Keep on doing it.
Right. Yeah.
Like we talked about earlier. I'm sorry, I should use my words instead of being saltines.
Use your words, Sam. Let's try to use your words.
I'm sorry, I'm almost done.
It's all good. So yeah, it takes discipline, and it isn't. You just have to keep being deliberate about it. From my experience, and let God take those worries, because there's no point in not having them, or there's no point in having those worries. Have faith. Replace those worries with faith. It's a lot better. What is your favorite chapter in the Bible? Alexander asks. Oh man. Oh, that is hard. I don't know if I can answer that exactly. Do you have an answer to that, Sam? I bet you do.
I've got an answer right now. I haven't been all the way through the Bible just yet, so I can't give like a fully educated answer. But at the moment, Philippians 4, I think is my favorite.
Yeah, I figured that you might say that.
That's my favorite Bible verses in it.
Yeah, 1 Corinthians 13 is quality. I like that a lot. All the There's so many places in the gospel where Jesus,
Yeah.
the parables and stuff like that, they're all over the map.
Yeah.
I really like them. I really like, as you guys can probably tell, the greatest commandment to love God with all your heart, love others as yourself, love your neighbors as yourself. That really just helps me so much, because it simplifies things. But my favorite verses change. It's kind of all my favorite because it's all integrated, but there's different parts that stand out to me at different times. But good question. Cole says we should all play some Call of Duty and teach people on there. I think that would be cool. I don't have Call of Duty, but if you want to play Splatoon, then I would be on for playing Splatoon.
But if you want to play Call of Duty, I will be terrible at
it. But there might be some people here in the chat or on the Gamer Faith community on the website. You could get a group together or something like that. My three says, I saw this sermon from a long time ago and I am sharing the points about this. I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to, but keep on doing. Oh, I think later you expound on it. Stop trying to control what you can't control. Look back on God's faithfulness. You have to find a way to celebrate God's faithfulness in your past, or you won't trust him in the future. And 3, pray about everything, every situation. It's great advice.
Yep.
Pray about what's on your mind, not what you think you should pray about. So thank
absolutely.
You. Go ahead.
Making prayer like you're having a conversation with God and not like robotic, saying the same things all over like what I should say, is really freeing, and it's really nice, like to just have a conversation with him.
Yeah, be personal about it, and that's the best. Don't be, robotic. Yeah.
Not programmed for robotic prayer.
Yeah, and you don't have to say sorry that's a long answer. Long answers are welcome. You guys are helping me out because God has all the answers, not me. So some of these are hard for me to answer too, and some of them are things I think about a lot too. So you guys have been very helpful in that way.
Yeah.
So this is about the 40th time I've said this, but I think we're finally out of questions so far. So if you guys have any more to throw out for the next few minutes, how long should we pray? We're going to be doing this forever, Sam. Are you ready to sit here until you have a beard and need some of this stuff?
Well, I finished my homework for today, so yeah.
Yeah. How
Not that
long?
homework comes before God, but
How long should we pray? I personally think you shouldn't be praying for the length of the prayer. In other words, don't be just praying for a long time, words that aren't reflections of what's on your heart, just because, like, oh, I need to be praying for a long time. Um, but pray as much as you need to, and there are times where you need to pray a lot, and you need to consistently remember and keep asking and stuff like that. Um,
there's times where I pray for a real long time about a lot of things that I got on my mind, and then I'll go about my day, and I'll just remember something that like I wanted to pray about, and it'll be a quick 5-second prayer, but it's all awesome.
yeah, yeah, pray, and you could pray sometimes it's long prayers and you're really thinking. Some people like a prayer journal. There's even phone apps you can get that help with that. But
Yeah.
I personally don't pray for. I try to guard myself against praying for the sake of, like, oh, I need to pray this long. I pray for what needs to be. I try to remember what needs to be prayed for. A lot of times, like, I'll just pray on the fly. I have this thing,
Yeah.
when I hear an ambulance, I
Me
tend to
too.
pray for whoever is involved in that ambulance, because somewhere there is somebody that is extremely important to somebody else that's going through a rough time. And I'm just ready to pray at that time, because it's so important to pray, and keep praying, and just unceasingly be plugged into God as much as you can. Um, My three asks, how old are you guys? Should I humor myself and make you guys guess that in the comments below?
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Make them guess.
Good, Anakin.
Anakin Skywalker asks, should I or shouldn't I?
Kill
Do it.
you.
Um,
Spoilers.
I don't see any guesses in the comments. They're all afraid. They're like, well, how much of an age difference do you think there is between Sam and I? Will you at least humor me with that? A number of how many years you think is difference between Sam and I? I'll give you a second.
Get a good look at our faces.
My three says, because you're talking about homework, about 18 to 20. I assume that's like our ages and not the difference between us. I hope. Jeremiah says 24. So 3-year difference is what they say.
Ooh, giving me some street cred.
Christopher Trenner says Caleb 20, Sam 17.
Ooh, close.
Got some good answers here. So good. I think you guys. Alexander Mason says 26.
23.
Muriel says 23. Is that for both of us? We're twins. 27.
I met Caleb on the day that I was born because we were born at the same time.
All right, 58. Thanks, Jeremiah. Is that the difference between us or our actual age?
The old coot.
It's my 111th birthday. I am. Are you ready? Drum roll. That's probably really annoying. I'm 26 and Sam is 18, and there is an 8-year difference between us.
Whoa.
So yeah, good guesses, guys. I'm glad that most of y'all aired towards like the me being younger. 97. Okay, you could stop guessing now. was 97 and my beard was white until I used Apocalyptus beard oil and it made me turn 26 again. And I'm drinking Detox Island Tropical.
You are
Green
97.
Shh, don't tell him about my 97. Jeremiah says I look younger than 97, younger than 58, or
Younger
younger
than
than
me?
26. I don't think that I look younger than you, Sam. I don't
Not
know
at
that.
all. You have facial hair.
I don't know that there's ever a possibility. Do I look younger if I take these off? Whoa, I look like totally like my hair's messed up, but I look much more tired when I take those off. Um, but a great question that we've probably spent too much time on, but I think we're all getting tired around here. So we're getting goofy, which is good. Do you guys want to see us just make videos where we do goofy stuff? Because we want to make videos like that, but if it would offend you guys, obviously not like inappropriate humor, but it would offend you guys to have videos where we were just doing more lighthearted stuff. The channel with what you want, but we have some stuff we want to try to bring over to the channel for variety. So let us know if you're okay with that or interested in that. Yeah. Okay.
You look younger than 26, Jeremiah Smith.
Oh, yes.
That's right. Yeah.
Thank you. Jeremiah wants cat videos.
Yes.
We have toyed around with the idea of making an entire cat channel, but it's just, it's like, I already have enough going on. More cat videos. I'll keep that in mind. Cats are a very important piece of our lives. Yes, like sands in the litter box. So are the cats of our lives.
Really, Days of Our Lives reference?
Yeah, cat videos, Cole says.
He will be, Angie.
As long as you don't do PewDiePie videos.
Yeah.
Nope. No, we're not gonna make raunchy. No. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. So Angie Rivera asks, are you married? Not yet, but I'm engaged. But Sam is not engaged, so
How do you know?
I would have thought that you might have mentioned that.
I could be keeping it a secret.
You could be keeping it a very good secret.
No, I'm just a freshman in college. I can't afford to get married right now.
You could be engaged to this owl.
How did you know?
For those of you wondering how I just pulled an owl out of nowhere, it's a secret.
Everything looking cranny, Caleb.
All right. Any other questions? Angie just popped out of nowhere. Have you been here? Like, I love it. Just new people popping in. Boom. Glad to have you, Angie. Any more questions real quick before we are done? What state do you live in? The solid state. I don't know what that means or whatever. I live in the great white state of Michigan. So, yeah, Sam lives in the great warm state of not Michigan, where the sun is always shining.
The great orange state of Arizona.
Yeah. My theory says I'm going to be honest. I wasn't feeling well. You just came. So you have somebody to give you attention, dude. We're
so glad you came.
We're so glad you're here. You've been a huge contribution.
Yeah.
Please come around every time if possible. We love having you here. You've been a great help. Anybody else? Do I dare ask?
Could this be the end of our journey?
Could it be the end of the video? We've got like 2.5 hours. We're getting at like Lord of the Rings movie
Seriously, we just
level.
recorded a whole movie.
Yeah, seriously. That's awesome.
It is awesome.
Glad you guys were here to join us for this.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was an awesome time.
Yeah.
We're getting repeat questions here. They really care about our pets. Do you have a dog? I have 2.
I wish.
I wish I had a dog. 3 kitties currently.
We had a dog.
We had the most awesome dog, Samson. I love dogs, and I hope to have a dog in the future. So maybe if you're following our vlog stuff, you'll be seeing some puppy love in the future. Okay. All right. Thank you, Christopher, for the encouragement. And now we're getting some emoticons.
Oh, dear.
Lots of emoticons. We got a ghost over here.
A jelly?
And good question, by the way, Angie. I'm glad you have 2 dogs. I wish that I had 2 dogs.
Yeah, me too.
So, what kinds of dogs? I'm going to turn the questions around at you guys.
Turn the beat around.
We should probably start closing up shop here, I guess. I'm having a lot of fun, so I don't necessarily want to. I hope that we can do more stuff like this in the future. I think that would be a great idea. So any last questions?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's the timer. How often are you going to live stream? You didn't make the timer. I'm not answering.
Based on this fantastic session, a lot more often than never.
A lot. We're gonna be trying to increase it from never to sometimes. I would love to do it once a week, but sometimes it doesn't always work that way. So don't hold me to that.
Once a month, we'll start there.
But more often, and there's some different types of live event stuff. So this seems to work well on a Sunday evening.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll be doing more live events. Maybe instead of Bro Talk, we should do like live hangouts.
Hey, don't get rid of Bro Talk.
Well, it'll be Bro Talk live events. Some of you guys don't know what Bro Talk is, probably most of you, but you'll find out maybe. Maybe you'll find out. Okay. Well, I just gotta say, God has really blessed this time, so I think that we should close in a prayer and call it good for the night and have fun doing this next time. So, Lord, thank you so much. I was praying that you would show us favor in this live event, and this has been an awesome time where the community could get together. It blew my expectations, and I believe probably Sam's expectations out of the water. And that's what you always do because you're an awesome God, and you're so good to us and so loving. We thank you for this time to get together. I pray that you would please touch the hearts of everybody who is tuned in or is tuning in the future, and please help them to find answers to their questions and to be able to find glory and satisfaction in you, because you are where everything that matters is in you. And you are where it's at, Lord. You are awesome. So thank you so much for this time. And thank you for these people. Please bless them. Please show us protection and always be with us. In Jesus' name we pray. And we love you, Lord. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Okay. So, and then a lot of encouragement from you guys. Uh,
Thank you
Christopher,
guys. Thanks.
Christopher will list his questions for next time, and you guys are all saying thank you and compliments and everything else. You guys are totally awesome, and so we couldn't do it without you. We loved hanging
Yeah.
out with you guys, getting to know you guys a little bit better, and we should definitely do this some more in the future. You guys have helped
Oh
us
yeah.
by being here, and I think giving us some direction in some of the material that's coming out in the future. So thank you for that, and you guys are awesome. I hope to see you all here next time and more of you. So,
Yeah.
all
We're
right.
friends.
All right, you guys are all friends. Hope to see you all here next time. All of you stay in touch, uh, bros and sisters. And yeah, love you guys. Praying for you. And I guess we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Bye. Love you.